Hey guys, Sheldon Hilton here, and welcome back. Okay, so a little bit about me. I'm from Fort Lauderdale, Florida, and for several years I've been traveling around the country in search of advice, knowledge, and mentors. And basically, growing up, I was the type of person that just did not understand dating for whatever God-given reason. And it was a very frustrating experience because all of my friends were able to attract beautiful women almost effortlessly, and I just wondered why I couldn't at the time. So I committed to myself to travel around the country and learn more about dating and just honestly kill this area of my life. So let's hop into the objectives for this course. Okay, so through this course I would like to teach you guys what attraction really is. I would also like to teach you guys how to become very attractive regardless of looks. Also, I would like to teach you the fundamentals of what women are actually attracted to. I would also like to teach you how to increase your confidence and value. I would also like to teach you how to powerfully create love. This type of bond, it's an amazing experience because I haven't seen very many people that actually teach this technique, so it's very interesting. I would also like to teach you guys some specific seduction techniques that are almost fail-proof. Honestly, I've never had any issues with them, so I'm giving them to you guys. These are my gifts to you. Last but not least, I would like to teach you guys how to seduce women almost effortlessly. This is going to be a very interesting experience, guys. You guys are going to learn a lot, and my advice to you guys is to go through maybe 1 or 2 sections per week, because your mind can only process so much information at one time. So also keep in mind, guys, that you have to actually apply a lot of this information, because the more you apply, the more faster you'll learn it, the more results you'll have, and I want to hear about your results, guys. So let's hop into the materials. I know you're eager to hear more. Alright guys, in this lesson I'm going to give you more depth on the stages of attraction. So let's get started. The first stage is introduction. Most guys think the first stage is the approach, but the reality is that the first stage is essentially when you become a blip on the radar for the woman. Generally happens before the interaction even begins. Usually occurs due to word of mouth from a peer, from family, familiarity, or any form of social interaction. The next stage would be demonstrating high value. This is the stage where the spark is lit and intensified. This is most often accomplished through light playful banter. Most men make the mistakes by skipping this stage and not allowing for the attraction to build, which could risk you falling into the friend zone. The last stage of attraction would have to be qualifying, one of the most crucial stages of attraction. Skip this stage and you run the risk of flaking. Once you understand and begin to use this stage to your advantage, you will become a drug to women. And later on, I will teach you on some techniques on how to be able to keep women after you spike their interest to this level. Because through qualifying in itself, you will be able to gain interest from girls in levels that you probably would not ever dream of. Okay, so the introduction. Not much to be said on this stage, but first impressions do count. So when you are initially presenting yourself in public, you would want to, of course, make the best impression on everyone, because every single person is judging you based on your confidence and dominance. So everyone, basically this happens subconsciously. Everyone scans the room and they put you in a category. You're either a dominant male or a submissive male. And even if you're a submissive male, it's okay, because you can become a dominant male. Although the impressions can be changed, there might be some resistance from the people around you that are trying to, I don't know, they're probably, in a way, it's stopping your growth, but I don't think it's deliberately. So when you're trying to actually grow and become a more confident person. When you change your body language, the people that's been around you for a while, maybe old friends, parents, or whatever, family, they will start to see that you've changed and they will call it out. But your job as a man is to hold your ground. And as long as you hold your ground, then you will be able to create a strong belief with conviction to yourself. And through this is where a lot of power is gained. Because once you believe, then you become. The introduction stage could work in your favor if you utilize the skills of body language, dominance, and eye contact to your favor. So, basically, you want to use all the qualities of an attractive male in order to become an attractive male, of course. The next stage would be demonstrating high value. Okay, so this is the stage where you really get to show that you're a valuable guy. This quality makes others want to be around you, essentially. And banter is the best way to demonstrate that you are a valuable person. And basically what it is, it's content-free conversation that initially sets her up for an interaction. Banter is generally quick, funny lines that gets a laugh, found in either movies or learned from the people around you. So basically, you can get banter lines from anywhere, honestly. I'm sure that you probably have a couple that you already know and that you could use to your advantage. But at the end of this report, I'm going to give you guys some of my hand-selected banter lines that work phenomenally. If you guys would like some more, then please just request it, and if I get enough requests, then I don't mind adding some more content. And basically, if you banter while turning your lower body away slightly, feet facing at a diagonal angle from the girl, then it will show that you don't need the interaction, which in turn creates attraction inside of her. So this is one of the most powerful techniques in demonstrating that you're a valuable guy, because when you slightly turn your body away from somebody, it shows that your attention is not completely on them. And in a girl's case, she starts to desire your attention, and it shoots off some chemicals in her brain, and she will actually desire to talk to you a lot more than she did previously, even if she wasn't talking to you before. So I would consider using this for your approach, because this is actually a very useful method, and it's helped thousands of people, honestly. I've heard success stories, I've helped clients, and this right here is priceless. Okay, so on to qualifying. Okay, so qualifying, it basically lets her chase you. As she begins to chase you, she will convince herself that she is becoming more and more attracted to you gradually. This stage is like a drug to women. By understanding and using this, you will be able to gain her investment in all future interactions. The process only needs to be done once, then its effects are continuous and automated. Try not to qualify yourself, because then this technique loses its power, but get her to qualify herself to you. This is the key to becoming the boss I know you secretly are with women. Okay, so in saying don't qualify yourself, please try not to sell yourself to women, because that is a very ineffective technique, and it actually demonstrates neediness, and you don't want to come off as a needy person to a woman that you're trying to attract, because it works counterproductive to you. So also keep in mind that women want you to like them, so always accept her qualities that she shares with you, and she will love you. Okay, so I'm going to teach you guys how to qualify, because this is a crucial step. There are a few methods of qualifying. Check these techniques out. The questions qualifier. This technique involves asking a question about her, then accepting her for whatever positive responses she provides you as feedback. Here are a few examples below. What are your 3 most positive dominant qualities? What are the most exciting adventures you have ever been on? So basically, any open-ended question that extracts some type of information from her about her that she might in turn find valuable about her. That's how you would qualify. And whatever quality she gives you, please do accept it, guys, because she could, if you don't accept a woman, then she will feel rejected herself, and she might actually leave the interaction. And that's, of course, not what you guys would want. Okay, so another technique is called the self-fulfilling qualifier. This technique is also a fairly simple game. You can qualify her for any quality, then she will start to show that side of her more often around you. So this is a very brilliant way of qualifying, because if you want her to have a quality, you can actually program her in a way to have that quality around you, and it's pretty neat. So basically, you can say something like this, anything around this formula. You know, I really like that you are blank. I don't know why I'm receiving this from you, but this is what I'm getting. Thank you for being so blank around me. In my case, I would probably say, I really like that you are open. I don't know why I'm getting this feeling from you, but thank you for being so open around me. And basically, by saying that, then it's pretty much accepting her for what she has not yet showed me. And if she nods her head yes, then she's agreeing to that quality. And by agreeing to that quality, that's called compliance. And the more compliance you can get from her, then the better of a position that you're in. And you can qualify her for being open, as I said, sexual, loyal, or whatever your heart desires from her. And she will actually start to act that quality around you. And it's pretty interesting. It's a neat concept to have under your tool belt when you're trying to get the woman of your dreams. Most times, if enough attraction is built, she will naturally qualify herself to you. It would come up in conversation as some sort of impressive quality about her. Pretty much, you just have to accept it and move on. So, if you're speaking to her and she says, so by the way, I graduated from Florida State, then basically what she's saying is that she's smart. So, don't treat her like she's stupid, essentially. So, you can just ultimately be like, okay, that's really nice, that's awesome. And by accepting her, then that would actually further the interaction. Okay, so I get this question a lot in my one-on-one trainings. So, what are women naturally attracted to? And this is very interesting because I realized in all of my studies that there are a select few qualities that if you have them, then your skills with women literally get exponentially better. So I would strongly suggest developing these traits. And the first one, confidence. Confidence is basically, as I told you before, it's certainty. So if you are sure in yourself, ultimately what I think is that if you know that you are worth something, then you become a confident person. So just by believing that you can do something or believing that you're important, you become a confident person in turn. So the more confidence you can show her, then of course that leaves you at a very strategic position to be attracting her from. The next thing would be leadership, because the thing is that women are naturally followers. It's just the way and how it is. Nothing against women, but they're naturally followers. And women want to be led, especially in a relationship. They don't want to have to call all of the shots, and they don't want to be the one that has to pretty much run the whole show. So women want to be led, and it is important to them to see this quality in a guy, which is you, especially when they're attracted to you, because the guy is responsible for furthering the interaction. Guys have an approach mechanism, which is more of a leadership type of skill. So Keep that in mind, guys. Also, humor. This one is not a must because I've seen plenty of people who have excellent game, literally, and they don't use humor. So this is a skill it's really optional, but it's always beneficial to have it on your side, because then you can always just pull out a line, and honestly, who doesn't like humor? So you almost always win with this skill. So I would suggest developing it. Dominance. Okay, so dominance, as we spoke of earlier, it's more of with body language and posture and just being the guy that actually takes up space, and don't be arrogant in a way, but take up the amount of space that you need. You can open your legs if you're sitting down. If you're standing up, spread your legs a little bit so you can take up a little bit more space. Dominance is pretty important because if you're dominant, then of course you will actually attract women in that are more on the feminine side. We'll get more into gender roles. I'll probably do a bonus on that one. And the last quality is giving value. Crucial. This is a very, very important stage, guys. Think about it. Why do you think people go to a concert to go and visit an artist or a celebrity or something? If you just look around, everywhere you will see people screaming and going hysterical. You want to know why? Because they're receiving value from the concert. So this is the fundamentals of why celebrities are celebrities, because they give so much value to society, and that's why they can literally pretty much get almost any woman, because the amount of value that they can give to a society. But you don't have to be a celebrity in order to give value. You can learn to banter really well and still have phenomenal results. I've tried this in my life, and honestly, if you learn this skill and really understand and master banter, your life will change. You will be able to attract almost anybody. Literally, well, with the exception of the case that she's in a relationship, then I wouldn't tell you to go over there and mess that up for her. But literally, this is a very, very important quality, is to give value. Here's a couple of pictures that I thought were interesting. Okay, so here is a guy and a girl at a bar, and she's obviously very attracted to him, and her whole body is facing him, her whole torso and everything. And since he's receiving so much positive body language, that's essentially a green light to keep moving the interaction forward. So I'm guessing that his next step would be to kiss her, because that would be the ideal step in order to seal the interaction. And this picture over here, this one is, honestly, it's probably a couple in a relationship. She's giving him complete positive body language, so that's obviously a big sign of attraction. And I thought just some visuals would be nice. Alright guys, so if you have any hopes and dreams of attracting women, you will run into tests. This is a very natural thing. So all women test men as a protective mechanism. Women have filter mechanisms and men have approach mechanisms. Women must be able to filter the bad eggs so she can mate with her best option. So essentially, women will always throw tests at you. It may not be too often, but when they realize that they are starting to develop attraction for you, then that's when she will generally throw a test at you. So it's her way of pretty much just being able to have the quality men in relationships in her life, because throughout a woman's life, she's probably been through several bad relationships. And her test mechanism actually protects her from getting into another relationship that's not good for her. Tests can be delivered in the form of a challenge, call out for something random, acting uninterested, asking for a favor, or anything that doesn't particularly flow with the conversation. So, honestly, she can test you on anything, but the key to understanding what a test is that it does not fit in with the whole conversation material. So, if a woman is talking to you and then suddenly she just flips faces and says something along the lines of anything negative or just random that kind of gets you by shock, your job as a man is to hold your composure, ultimately. To pass the test, you must be non-reactive and non-needy. Then she will believe that she can trust you. Tests never go away, but they dramatically decrease after you get her in bed or date her. That is very true, guys. You will never get away from tests. Just learn how to pass them. It is actually very simple once you understand what a test actually is in itself. So we will go a little bit more in depth on testing because there's two types of tests. Congruence tests. Ultimately, women use these tests to see if you actually believe you are attractive. They come in the form of rude comments towards you or even a slick comment about something you do. She is ultimately seeking a reaction. But if you react with any type of emotion other than humor, you run the risk of failing these. And basically for congruence tests, you kind of just have to be incongruent with who you actually are. So if she says something mean to you about your hair or whatever, you have to be confident enough in yourself that what she says does not actually affect you. And if you kind of develop that type of mindset, then you will actually pass every single one of these tests. It's a very simple method of passing them, but the key to passing them is to recognize them, ultimately. The second type of test is a compliance test. These tests are when she asks you to complete a task or challenge that you really don't need to do. She may ask you to go get her something from across the room, to watch her stuff, or any variation of compliance. If you comply to her request, then you can run the risk of failing this test. Okay, this test is a little bit more tricky, but it's also not very hard to pass. Okay. One way of actually passing this test is you can trade compliance. So, if it's your girlfriend, you can say, "Sure, I'll grab your bag across the room, but you owe me a blowjob." If it's some girl that you just met, you can say, "Sure, I'll watch your stuff, but if I watch your stuff, then you have to buy me a drink." So any type of trading compliance would actually pass these tests. But there's an instance in which it might not actually be a test, and that's rare. But the instance is, let's say something bad happened and she asks you to watch her stuff because it's an emergency. Then in that case, she might not actually be testing you. It might just genuinely be that she needs you to watch her stuff. So just understand this and kill it out there, guys. Later. Hey guys. Okay, so today we're gonna learn a little bit more about pre-selection. So basically, pre-selection, what it all falls down to is non-neediness. That's one of the fundamental laws of pre-selection. And by acting like you don't need the interaction with a woman, it demonstrates that other women are also attracted to you, further increasing her attraction to you. So I'll teach you guys some techniques on how to actually become pre-selected, and this will give you basically like a superpower in your back pocket, which of course would improve all of your interactions. We all know and understand that women want what other women want, which makes this the key to making you into the badass that we both hope you will become. Lucky for you, if you don't already have this quality, you can fake it till you make it. Then eventually it will become a part of you. Okay, so basically, a really good way of pre-selection. This one has to do with body language, of course, because your life experiences reflects on your body language. And of all things, people trust your body language when they're looking at you. That's what they will trust. They will trust your body language over your vocal tonality any day. So basically, one way of appearing pre-selected until of course it becomes a part of you is of course dominant body language. So with the relaxed shoulders, standing straight, good posture, take up space with your legs so you don't look like you're trying to get smaller, because if you look like you're trying to get smaller, then it seems as if you're trying to hide from other people. So, just take up space. Eye contact is always good. And pretty much, just do you, badass. Welcome back to Hacking Dating, Attraction, and Badass Seduction Techniques. Okay, so today we are actually going to talk about body language. This is a very interesting subject, so let's get into it, guys. So first, dominant body language. Of course, we went a little bit more on dominant body language previously, and essentially you want your shoulders to be relaxed and back should be straight. And eye contact is also essential for dominant body language because it shows that you're coming from a powerful position. And also you would like to end your sentences on a down note because it makes you sound more sure of yourself. So basically, overall, you want to have a powerful looking posture. Positive body language. We haven't gotten too much into positive and negative body language. So positive body language is basically when your shoulders are directly facing a woman. Too much positive body language would give her nothing to earn, so she may just walk away from the interaction. And it's best to deliver positive body language at the start of an interaction and then immediately deliver negative body language after banter starts. And also, I would like to mention that positive body language, you should only use that as a reward for women. So if she's receptive to your attraction, then it would be ideal to give her positive body language in that moment. And let's go to negative body language. So negative body language is when the body is facing either slightly at an angle or not facing her in a standoff position. And particularly with the shoulders, that's a very good way to judge body language and how much you're actually giving her. Negative body language is best used during attraction. Also, one thing I'd like to mention, guys, is that pickup lines are only effective when you use negative body language. So yes, they actually can work. I've gotten that question quite a few times in the past. Pickup lines can work, but they're only effective if you deliver negative body language effectively. And once she starts to give you 100% body language, as in her shoulders are pretty much squared off with yours, then you can start to take the interaction to a more sexual level and escalate. Okay, a little bit more about body language. In my research and studies, I've come to realize that 93% of communication is nonverbal and only about 7% is verbal. So body language is a crucial thing, guys. Make sure you get this down. And one thing that I'd like to mention is, this is James Bond. Of course, we all know James Bond. And look at his body language. Look at his posture. This is very dominant body language with the shoulders relaxed, hands just kind of down to the side, relaxed. And he seems very confident. That's how you want to come off to women. I really like James Bond because this is how I learned a lot of my actual body language hacks and stuff like that. Because he's an excellent example, guys. I definitely recommend that you keep up with him because this is an excellent way of learning body language, guys. I'd like to show you a link, and I also will add at the end of this video some tips and techniques about body language that you guys can also incorporate into your game. Enjoy this video, guys, and I will see you guys in the next section.
Thank you.
I'm the money.
You're every penny of it.
The Treasury has agreed to stake you in the game.
Vespa. I do hope you gave your parents hell for that.
Thank you. Your boss must be well connected. I've never seen so much go out the door so quickly.
Not quite so stylishly. May I ask you where it is?
10 million was wired to your account in Montenegro, with a contingency for 5 more if I deem it a prudent investment. I suppose you've given some thought to the notion that if you lose, our government will have directly financed terrorism. What looks good? So you're telling me it's a matter of probability and odds? I was worried there was some chance involved.
Well, any of you assume the player with the best hand wins.
So that will be what you call bluffing.
You've heard the term. Then you'll also know that in poker you never play your hand. You play the man across from you.
And you're good at reading people.
Yes, I am. Which is why I've been able to detect an undercurrent of sarcasm in your voice.
You'll know short our money is in good hands.
You don't think this is a very good plan, do you?
So there is a plan. I got the impression we were risking millions of dollars and hundreds of lives on a game of luck. What else can you surmise, Mr. Bond?
About you, Miss Lind? Well, your beauty's a problem. You worry you won't be taken seriously.
Which one can say of any attractive woman with half a brain.
True, but this one overcompensates by wearing slightly masculine clothing, being more aggressive than her female colleagues, which gives her a somewhat prickly demeanor. And ironically enough, makes it less likely for her to be accepted and promoted by her male superiors, who mistake her insecurities for arrogance. Now, I'd have normally gone with only child, but, you see, by the way you ignored the quip about your parents, I'm going to have to go with orphan.
All right. By the cut of your suit, you went to Oxford or wherever, and actually think human beings dress like that. But you wear it with such disdain. My guess is you didn't come from money, and your school friends never let you forget it. Which means you were at that school by the grace of someone else's charity, hence the chip on your shoulder. And since your first thought about me ran to orphan, that's what I'd say you are. Well, you are. I like this poker thing. And that makes perfect sense. Since MI6 looks for maladjusted young men who give little thought to sacrificing others in order to protect Queen and country. You know, former SAS types with easy smiles and expensive watches. Rolex?
Amiga.
Beautiful. Now, having just met you, I wouldn't go as far as calling you a cold-hearted bastard.
No, of course not.
But it wouldn't be a stretch to imagine you think of women as disposable pleasures rather than meaningful pursuits. So as charming as you are, Mr. Bond, I will be keeping my eye on our government's money and off your perfectly formed house.
You noticed.
Even accountants have imagination. How was your lamb?
Skewered. On sympathizers.
Good evening, Mr. Bond.
Good evening, Miss Lind.
Hey guys, thank you guys for getting this far into my course. Now we can get into some of the fun stuff. The drug connection. Now I will teach you all how to powerfully create love and build strong friendships. The process of love creation is called rapport. There are 4 major stages of rapport. The stages are light rapport, wide rapport, deep rapport, and release. These stages are all critical. I'll go a little bit more in detail on these stages in just a second, guys. It is always safe to move to rapport when a conversation topic becomes more serious and she begins leaning in. So if you're ever unsure about when to move to rapport, because this is a critical step. Once the conversation begins to get a little bit more serious, it's no longer playful and bantery. It's more of on the serious side. Then you can transition into rapport. And if you'd like to, you can go back. But it's preferred that after rapport you go to seduction, especially if you're not trying to fall into the friend zone. So rapport. Light rapport. During this stage, both parties are basically asking each other to open up. Mostly open-ended questions. No connection is built here. Wide rapport. This is essentially finding a potential emotional connection. Basically a response. Deep rapport. At this stage, you will have to be vulnerable. Most interactions don't actually get to deep rapport, which is interesting. But whatever you decide to be vulnerable about, she would accept it as long as you're actually in deep rapport. This is the stage where love is created. She will begin to trust you a lot more and appreciate you far more. Release. During this stage, the conversation topic will almost always come to a pause. At this stage, you can simply hop back into normal conversation. Alright guys, the moment we've all been waiting for. I will teach you how to powerfully create love in any woman that you desire. Okay, so this stage is generally done after qualifying her. This formula is credited to Joshua Pellisier. Okay, the first step is a light rapport confirmation question. So any type of open-ended question will do, but for this instance we're going to use this one. What did you do before you came here today? Step 2, acceptance. Accept whatever response she gives you, and basically your point is to link deep rapport to whatever her response is, and that's how you will build a powerful bond with her. Step 3, the connection. I don't know how it is for you, but whenever I blank, I feel blank. Step 4, confirmation. She will either give you a head nod, or you can ask, are you with me still? And basically, once you run through these steps, then you will be ready to actually go deep. This is where it gets real deep. Link it to a childhood memory, lesson, and confirm it. So ever since then, whenever I blank, link it back to your connector, then I feel blank. Whatever realization that you feel. Then you use a confirmation once more. Okay, so I want you guys to each write down this formula because this is very crucial. Once you understand how the formula works, you can actually plug and play anything into it and have powerful results as a byproduct. Okay, so deep rapport in action. This is going to be my personal rapport, but let's say her response was she went to work. I don't know how it is for you, but for me, whenever I go to work, I feel like I am one step closer to my dreams because I know at any moment I can network with somebody and learn something to propel myself closer to my goals. Are you with me still? It kind of reminds me of when I was younger, growing up, poor, and family friend told me I was not capable of achieving my dreams because of his inadequacy in achieving his own goals and growing beyond poverty, which followed me through my childhood up until high school. Are you still with me? Then one day, I realized that what he said was only his way of coping with his learned helplessness that he developed and maintained throughout his lifetime. And ever since then, I realized that what he said wasn't accurate and that I could achieve whatever I put my mind to in life. So take advantage of this formula, guys, because this is great. With this formula, you literally have a superpower in your back pocket. Thanks, guys. Hey guys, now it's time for the best part, seduction. Alright, so seduction takes a woman's emotional brain and begins to heighten it. Her logical brain becomes detonated at that time. Because the way in how the mind works, either your emotional brain is heightened or your logical brain is heightened. In this case, it would be the emotional brain. This stage always comes after rapport. She will have no idea she's being seduced because her logical brain will be so detonated. Sexual innuendo is strongly encouraged here. This is the part where you actually get to have sex, guys, so do everything in your power. You can literally you can literally just drop the script at this point and do as you please, because you're literally this close. If she resists seduction at all, not enough rapport was built. So essentially, she doesn't trust you enough to flirt with you. You could fix this by going back through the deep rapport formula one more time. Okay, so if you ever have the issue where she's actually not reciprocating, you should probably go back to the deep rapport formula, because it would be very beneficial for you, and she would appreciate you a lot more if you actually built more rapport with her. Because women like that type of stuff. They love it. This is candy for women, essentially. Okay guys, now I'm going to reveal to you guys the tested godlike seduction technique. This powerful technique is credited to Jason Capital. This 3-step formula. Okay, so basically it goes like this, guys. Establish a frame. Look, I'm gonna lay out how it's done, and you can kind of plug and play, or you can use this exact same formula and gain the amazing results that I'm speaking of. Look at her skeptically and say, "Don't look at me like that. I know what you're doing," with a smirk. Play it up. Shake your head at her obviously ignoring your wishes, whether she responds or not. Stop it. Seriously. You know I'm not trying to like anyone right now. Step 2. Challenge her sexual power. Basically, for this step, start with, "It wouldn't matter anyway," and you can continue on from there. Make up a not true statement to add to it. So basically you can say it like this: "It wouldn't matter anyway, cute girls are always bad in bed." Play with the sexual tension with her. Tease her. Play it up. "There's no way you can keep up with me. We would have to spend the whole time with me teaching you, trying to get you up to my level. It would be a complete waste of time. Seriously." At this point, she is literally crawling in her skin, because you've pretty much emotionalized her. Like, she is literally, you have all of her attention. Anything you decree at this moment pretty much has a lot of power. So what you want to do is set her mind running. Qualify her sexual experience by asking, "What is the most exciting sexual experience you ever had?" And lean back while asking to spike the sexual tension. When she replies, say, "Cool, but did you blank?" And she will say no. The response could be literally anything, but just don't fully validate her. So honestly, you can make it up as you go, and you can literally say anything to her. And when I say anything, because she is so intensified with emotion right now that even if what you said didn't make sense, it still would have an effect on her, and she would be thinking about it. So this is a very important stage to keep in mind, guys. Now she will be a bit curious. Make her visualize being sexual with you and say, "You like your hair pulled, don't you?" At this point, she is literally crawling in her skin to have sex with you. Make her realize she's been missing out of her deepest fantasy by stating, "Have you even lived out your deepest fantasy yet?" She will realize that there's so much that she hasn't lived out sexually. And listen, badass. Next step, escalate and kiss her. You can also say, "Let's get out of here," to get her to leave with you. You win. Badass. I'm telling you, you did it, man. Like, this is what you've been waiting for this whole time, and I guarantee you, if you apply this formula, you will gain amazing results, as me and all of my clients have. So have a nice day, guys. Thanks. Congrats, guys, you've actually made it through the whole course. I'm proud of you all. Thank you for sitting here and listening to me, guys. I really appreciate it. So here's the formula one last time. I'll run through it with you really quickly. Attraction. Attraction is the introduction, phase, which is you just introducing yourself to her. The demonstrating high value phase, which is you pretty much demonstrating to her that you're a person of value, i.e. banter. And the qualifying phase. I put qualifying right here because it's actually a very important step, and if you skip it, you are missing out on a lot in your interaction. So I decided to leave that right here. The next stage would be rapport. Remember, there's light rapport, wide rapport, and then deep rapport. Go back to the program if you don't remember what any of them are, because this is all crucial information, guys. And then finally, there's seduction. Okay, guys. And once you get to seduction, honestly, that's when you can really let your manhood out and be a confident and powerful male around here, because that's when she's most receptive to any type of sexual gesture that you pretty much bring up, because her emotional brain would be heightened and her logical brain would be detonated. So that, just keep that in mind, guys. And please, 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 please keep practicing this formula, and you will be a badass with women in no time. This is how you have to do it, guys. Study a little, practice. Study, practice. Study, practice. Then one day it will all just click in your mind, and you will be a beast forever. I guarantee you it, guys. Take my word for this. And you will be a beast forever. I guarantee it, guys. Take my word. Hey guys, Sheldon here. I appreciate you guys who all went through my course. I will continue to keep updating the content and adding more information. This is my first time doing a podcast type of lecture. So thank you for bearing with me, and hope you enjoy your day. Alright guys, I'll hear from you guys soon. Later. Hey guys, alright, so I decided to add a couple bonuses because I appreciate you guys so much and you guys are awesome. So, for your first bonus, understanding approach anxiety. Honestly, you'll see why I don't necessarily believe in approach anxiety. Just a second. Basically, in all my studies, approach anxiety comes down to one thing: fear. False evidence appearing real. Trust me on this one, it is all in your head, and women don't, in my experience, bite. So the best way to overcome approach anxiety is to understand how to attract women properly, and then just do it. Honestly, I'm sure you've heard that a million times, but this is really the key to overcoming approach anxiety, and I actually found an easy method of overcoming it. Check this out. One trick that I like to use is to just approach everyone equally, regardless if it's an elder, woman, stranger, child, or friend, with the same mindset. Of course, your intentions will not be to sleep with everyone, but it will help to train your mind to be more accustomed to being put into new environments. This one trick has the potential to drastically reduce any sort of anxiety you would be inclined to have around all social interactions. So honestly guys, I definitely recommend trying this out if you have any problems with approach anxiety. And thank you for listening, guys. Okay guys, so throughout the course, we gave you a brief understanding about gender roles, and I decided to add some supplicating materials to all of that. So, men typically choose to play the male gender role, but it is not unlikely if a male plays the female gender role. It doesn't make him a girl, he just will attract more dominant women playing the opposing gender role. The male gender role is the person who is more dominant within the relationship. If you practice dominance, then you will attract feminine women. And the female gender role is the person who is more submissive in the relationship. If the male decides to use submissive body language, he will attract more assertive and aggressive women only. So basically, what I'm trying to say is that if you want to attract the beautiful woman that you want, then you are going to have to learn how to play the male gender role and utilize a lot of the techniques in this course, and over time you will be able to play a lot better. And just wishing you guys the best, guys. Thanks. Alright guys, so there's not much to say here, but here are a few of some really good banter lines. If you guys would like some more lines, please just let me know. Please feel free to leave a comment and I will get back to you guys. I'll probably end up uploading a PDF with a bunch more, but let me know what you guys think, guys. Thanks. If you're actually planning on using these lines, just pause the video. Alright guys, later. Okay guys, so I decided to include this bonus because this is also very important. How to keep a conversation topic hot. Okay, pretty much it's just a list of things, and if you follow these, then honestly, you will never run out of things to say. 1. Be spontaneous and in the moment. Use banter. You can always look up lines. I will provide you with some, and if you need any more, just let me know. 2. Pay attention to your surroundings, because you can always use your surrounding as a conversation topic, and that's excellent advice that I learned from a mentor one time. 3. Use statements rather than a series of questions. Nobody likes interview mode, so when you ask statements, it actually forces people to open up a little bit more, and it gets the conversation on a level that's a lot more interesting than interview mode. 4. Use her reactions to whatever you say to decide what to say next. If you use this technique, then honestly you will have a lot of conversation topics and you shouldn't really have a problem, honestly. 5. Don't think about what to say next. It's counterproductive and takes you out of the moment of the conversation. So if you're thinking too much about what you actually want to say, then the conversation won't flow naturally. 6. Relax, man. Conversations are meant to be a fun way to get to know people. Remove all sticks from your ass. Okay guys, I just thought you should know this, and tuning out guys.